Step one in the practice of non-suffering is to become aware of comfort and appreciate that comfort. In order to become aware of comfort, one must first understand what comfort is. Comfort will be defined using the original Latin cum, meaning together, and also as an intensifying prefix, and fort from the Latin fortis, meaning stronger. So comfort will be defined as together stronger. Appreciation will be defined as to have a deep understanding of something in order to recognize or judge its value, from the original Latin root word appreciare, to appraise. In the previous video, comfort was said to be a very important feedback system of the body, informing the mind that things are functioning optimally, and that comfort was a byproduct of optimal functioning of the body. An example was given using the human hand and the flames of a fire. Comfort was pointed out to be the best guide to avoid suffering, also called ultimate stress, and a graph line was plotted out as a visual aid to help deepening one's understanding and appreciation of comfort. Comfort is the best guide in the practice of non-suffering. There cannot be too much comfort in the practice of non-suffering. With appreciation and a deeper understanding of comfort, one can now start the practice of becoming aware of the comfort that is an essential part of the human experience, but is taken for granted and ignored. Practice will be defined as to perform repeatedly in order to acquire or perfect a skill. Let's shift gears here for a minute. In the first video, the conflation of comfort and habit was pointed out. Again, the definition of comfort being used is together stronger, as compared to the definition of habit being used as a continual, often involuntary or unconscious inclination to perform an activity acquired through frequent repetition, aka practice. So, a habit is something you become good at by practicing an action, which becomes automatically or possibly involuntary. An example might be driving home and not remembering to drive when you pull into the driveway. Your habits got you home safely and comfortably. Or sports and muscle memory. One consciously practices an action over and over again until it becomes a habit, and so one does not have to think how to do the action. Or biting one's fingernails and not realizing it. Biting one's fingernails is a coping mechanism for anxiety or minor suffering that temporarily relieves the suffering, but has outlived the temporary stress release and has now become a destructive, unhealthy habit. In the human experience, habits are essential to our survival. It is impossible for a human being to be vigilant of the surroundings 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. So habits evolved as a solution to allow bandwidth for other necessary tasks. When it comes to an understanding of comfort and habit, not all habits make use of comfort, stronger together. Think biting one's nails to the cuticles until they bleed. But comfort can become a habit. One last bit on the conflation of comfort and habit. Unhealthy posture has nothing to do with comfort. It is an unhealthy habit, but people will say, I'm comfortable sitting or standing like this, or it's comfortable for me. The words comfort and habit are not interchangeable. In the practice of non-suffering, one deepens one's understanding and appreciation of the difference between comfort and habit, and one starts to consciously create and practice comfortable habits or habits of comfort. Shifting gears back to practicing comfort awareness and the appreciation of comfort, humans are good at what they practice. If unhealthy posture is the habit, that means unhealthy posture has been practiced and one is now good at unhealthy posture. If one's fingernails are bitten down to the cuticles, that is the habit. Fingernail biting has been practiced and one is now good at biting fingernails down to the cuticles without awareness of the action. Not knowing there is comfort throughout the entire body means one has ignored a very large percentage of the body and has been practicing it, and it is now the habit. So one is good at ignoring most of the body that is comfortable and instead focusing on the very small percentage of the body that is suffering. Humans are good at what they practice. In the practice of non-suffering, one becomes aware of what one is practicing. One becomes aware of one's habits. Step 1 in the practice of non-suffering is to finally experience one's body, the actual physical body. To sit there and feel the physical body that is the foundation of one's experience and existence. Don't think about the body, just experience it. Thinking is storytelling, not experiencing. Just sit there and give yourself permission to do nothing, no thinking, for 10 seconds. Good. Now start an inventory of what hurts, or is sore, or stiff, or sensitive. It can be a mental list, or you can write it down. Got your list? That was probably pretty easy. Everything else that is not on that list is comfortable. Everything else that is not on that list is the comfort in the body. The practice of non-suffering is to spend more time and more time in the comfortable areas of the body and not use so much time and energy on the non-optimal, hurting, minor suffering parts of the body. The suffering parts are not being ignored. That is not the reality of the moment. The list just created acknowledges them. They are not being ignored. They are part of the comfortable, stronger together body. The practice of non-suffering deals in and with reality, and the reality at the moment is that these parts of the body are suffering and have been getting the lion's share of your awareness and attention. Now a conscious choice is being made to spread the awareness to the comfortable parts of the body as well. The practice of non-suffering is that simple. But it is not and will not be easy. You will have to practice conscious repetition, practice this skill until it becomes your habit, an automatic unconscious behavior. As comfort becomes the habit, the acknowledgement of the suffering parts will not be necessary, and the awareness will go directly to the comfortable parts, which will make the suffering parts more comfortable. This habit of being aware of the comfort that is inherent in the body is step 1 in the practice of non-suffering. Thank you very much for your time and indulgence. Please enjoy and be comfortable.